Hello my fellow readers. In this video I'm going to give kind of an overview of my reading plans for 2022, or what I call my reading resolutions for 2022. So for 2022 I do plan to participate in reading challenges again. I like reading challenges. I like how it will get me to kind of branch out from what I normally read, especially the read harder one, because a lot of times I will have to choose like nonfiction and stuff that usually I just consider boring. Like I'd rather read for fun because it is, it's a way for me to relax. So usually I think of, nonfiction as more dense, but I have read a lot of very good nonfiction, and a lot can just be, enjoyable. I don't know. I guess I just need that kind of push to seek out those nonfiction titles. And I do like how they are thought-provoking. So the reading challenges I'm going to participate in this year, and I'll probably show them up on screen, probably like here, and maybe put links to them. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that, if I'll just have the gumption to. The first one is Read Harder, the Book Riot Reading Challenge, which I think I might have participated in most of them. I can't remember if I joined at the start of it, because Read Harder started in 2015, and I can't remember if I did that one or if I waited until 2016 or 17 to start doing that challenge. I'd have to look back and see what I saved. For the past few years, I definitely have enjoyed participating in the challenge and challenging myself, and I've had a good time with the Read Harder. So I don't remember exactly when I started to do it, but it's been a while. Next, because I rather enjoyed it last year, I'm going to do the Novelist Reading Challenge again. Yeah, that's all that I have to say about it. Third will be the Read More Reading Challenge. And then the fourth one, which I might do, is more of a monthly challenge. There's kind of a theme, and then you can pick a book. And I liked that they also have little things for social media. So I'm I might do this one. It's up in the air at this point, but if I do, I might try to do some of this stuff and maybe share on Instagram how that challenge is going. I'm kind of excited about that one. It's a little bit different and a little bit more easy and accessible than some of the other ones, which is specifically find a book that's about this, which I'm fine with too, but I'm really looking forward to giving something new a try. Having said that and outlined all of these reading challenges I want to do, my big reading resolution that I proclaimed at the end of 2021 is to actually read a little bit less this year. And reading less doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to make sure that I'm reading less. I think it means more I want to read conscientiously, which means I want to make choices for reading that I thoroughly want to read and enjoy, whether that is nonfiction or fiction. I want to make sure that it's something that I want to read, that I feel good about reading at that moment, and I'm not just pushing myself to read in order to read. If that makes sense to you. It's not even so much about the number, it's just making sure that it's enjoyable to me. And I think that I was pushing myself to get through a book a day, and it was adding more stress to me. It was becoming more kind of an obsessive issue, which is a bad habit of my anxiety, as it becomes more oh, I have to do this. Yeah, just more of an obsessive thought than just enjoying the ride. And so I'm attempting to give myself permission to where if I don't want to finish that book that day, or I'm just not feeling it, I can just stop and put it aside and move on to something I would rather do. Whether that's, playing games on my Switch or, just enjoying time, not doing anything. Because I think that's become a big thing too, of just I have to fill every waking moment, and I don't have to. So that's what I mean more conscientious reading, is assessing why I'm doing it and whether I need to, just reassuring myself it's fine, you don't have to do this. Yeah, so read less. Next, I want to focus on some light novels this year, which might end up meaning that I end up reading just as much because light novels are a little bit faster and more accessible reading. But I did enjoy the light novels that I was able to read last year, and I would like to read more of them. So I do have plans. I mean, you've probably seen in some of my haul videos where I've picked up quite a few light novels, and I actually want to focus and read through them this year. Actually, I have like a stack on my TBR of books in general that I want to make sure I get through this year and be like conscientious about finishing those. I mean, I think in general I'm doing pretty good. Only one of my carts is of like novels that I haven't read. The other ones are manga, and I can pretty much fly through the manga. So I'm not worried about them, but the novel portion I want to get through this year because I've got quite a few, and especially as I know I'm going to pick up more books, I want to try to focus in, get those done and out of the way, and then move on. But I'm really excited to read more light novels because the ones I've picked up look super good. Some of them have multiple volumes, and I want to enjoy those worlds and see how I feel about light novels in general, because the prose is slightly different than what I'm accustomed to, especially as a fantasy reader of like big epic fantasy. Well, I read all sorts of fantasy, so I can't really just say epic fantasy, but there is quite a difference between light novel narrative prose and like Brandon Sanderson. The world building is different. But yeah, I want to give light novels more of a shot this year. And my last things aren't really, well, they are resolutions in the fact that I want to use them. So this year my plan is to do more book tracking, using, different logs in journals. So at home, I guess you would say, or print-wise, I'm going to be using this nice little Christmas gift that I got that is the Book Lover's Journal. It's my personal reading record. This is available on Amazon if it looks interesting to you at all. This has a little kind of index space where you can just list all the books that you've been reading. And also you can put the page that your notes are on. So when you get to the page, there's like more book information. So there's the title, author, publisher, number of pages, fiction, genre, or nonfiction subject. And then there's, how you acquired the book, when and where you read it, noteworthy experiences while reading the book, whether you're going to check out the author's other books or any related books. And then there's different ratings that you can do on a scale of 1 to 10. And then it's like, would you recommend the book? And then there's an option for notes and opinions and an overall rating. So there's a huge section that tracks it that way. And then there's a list that's for books you'd like to read. I'm going to do my best to do some of that. It seems like before I used to be able to find lists of upcoming reads and like write them down, and I haven't seen as many of those published recently. And maybe it's because so much is up in the air about publishing and whether they'll be in time. There's a little part in here about when and like where you get your books from. A good deal of my stuff I get the like audiobook version from my library. So, but of course, you've seen also that I buy a lot of books. And then if you've borrowed any books, I don't have a tendency to unless it is from the library. I do, however, lend my books. So there is a spot for that. Books I've lent. And books I've given and books I want to give. I definitely am a book giver. And then if you have a book group, there's a section for that. Acclaimed authors and books. So it's kind of like inspiration. I like how a lot of these have like a little checkbox next to it. So if you've already read them, you can just mark it off. And I did start to do that with Among the World's Great Books. I started crossing off the ones that I've read. And it also includes like nonfiction, drama, and poetry. The poetry section doesn't have the check boxes. It just has like poets that you should try. And there's a spot for your favorite books, favorite authors, memorable books and author events, books that have changed my life, literary places I'd like to visit, my childhood favorite, books I liked as a teen, books I liked in college, favorite poems and poets, books I was supposed to read and didn't, but still might, favorite book-related publications, shows, blogs, and websites, books on screen, and then books I'd like with me if I were stranded on a desert island. So I thought this was really cute, and the plan is to use this year. I did have a book tracker from the past that I didn't use, and I I thought I didn't like it, so I never used it, but I pulled it out the other day, and I actually really like it, and I might try using it next year, or if I run out of space in that one, I might hop over to this one, because again, it's going to depend on how many books I read. But this is the Read Harder reading log by Book Riot. And I bought this a number of years ago and then just like shoved it on my shelf and forgot about it. But now that I've been looking at it, I'm like, I want to give this one a go. I want to actually use it. Yeah, this was released in 2018, and I'm pretty sure that's when I bought it. And I've probably been doing the Book Riot reading challenge since at least then. And lastly, I'm going to have to show you on my computer, but Book Riot released a log that you do online. Well, it's not like online, but it is online because it's through Google Sheets. And I like that you can play around with it, and I think I might change one of the things to include light novels, but I will show you what it looks like now. So here is my reading log for 2022 that is a saved as file from Book Riot's reading log, and you can just go to bookriot.com, do a search for the 2022 reading log, and you should be able to find the article that has this link in it, and then you can just do save as for yourself if you are interested in tracking the way that I want to for this year. So I did a save as. I did change the theme colors so they fit my theme colors more, but I left all the other things the same. So what this reading log tracks is the titles of the books you've read, the author, artist if you listen to the audiobook, the publisher of the publication, the date of publication, the day that you started the book, the day that you finished the book. There's a column if you didn't finish the book. There's a page count for books you physically read and a length for books that you listened to. Then you can choose the format. And let me just move this forward so you can get to the next grouping. So you can choose the format, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, the form, so the ones I've read have been prose, the genre, the audience, the next section is for representation. Let me scroll forward again so we can take a look at that. So they ask if there are people of color. This couldn't be either the author or the protagonist or both. LGBTQIA, again, author, protagonist, or both. Trans representation, they decided to have that a separate category this year, that it was something that people were looking forward to having. And again, it would be author, protagonist, or both. The author's gender, if specified. Any disability rep. Again, I think this should be author, protagonist, or both. Whether the book is a reread. See if I can close out of that. Yep. A reread, or is this book a translation? And if it is a translation, what's the original language? And then you can do the nation of origin for the book. And moving forward, the reason for reading. In my cases, it's just been for fun, but it also includes like book clubs or let's see what other work, school, or personal development. It will do this automatically, so it'll be days read, pages per day, the time per day if it's an audiobook, and then you can do a star rating in here. And they even have half-star ratings, so it's brilliant if you like half-star ratings. Two, I saw the two, and I think I said two. Next, if it is part of the Read Harder challenge. You can enter the number there, and it will fill in the data for the Read Harder challenge, which they have a spot for down here. And then you can add notes for the book. So like cute middle grade, blend of mystery and sci-fi. Frustrating main character, could have been better. Cute. And then there's a page for stats, which takes everything that you're entering and displays it thusly. So you can check, how many pages you've read, hours listened, what you read more of. And this lays it all in just numbers. I like the charts version, which will lay it out for you in charts. So at this point, I haven't had any nonfiction, and I haven't had any, did not finish. Actually, I probably won't have any DNF books because I don't usually not finish. I'm very picky about the books that I read, and so I usually don't give up on them. Next is the format, so you can see if you do more audio or print. I think there's an ebook category too, but I can't remember. Then there's the audience, form, genre, pub date, all of its backlist. I have a feeling that'll be a lot of what I read. Books by page count, book source, audiobooks by length, books finished by month, star ratings, author, artist, gender, nation of origin, POC authors versus white authors, POC protagonists versus white protagonists, queer author artists, queer protagonists, books in translation versus not in translation, disability rep versus no disability rep, trans authors versus cis authors, trans protagonists versus cis protagonists. And I'm not sure if these were something or if these are extra in case you add a chart. I'm not really sure. Next is the Read Harder challenge portion. So when I entered the 2 there, it filled this out automatically. So this was read a book set in a bookstore. And I did Recommended for You by Laura Silverman. Very cute read. And then the next one is a book spending log. So you can track what you spend per year on books. I don't know if I'm going to use this one because that might be difficult. I mean, at this point, I did spend some money on light novels. Yeah, I'm probably not going to do this because I forget what I did. I might look up my, because I just grabbed a few from Amazon, so I might look it up and do it. I will see. But yeah, this is the cute, fun, mine is just saved in Google Sheets, book log from Book Riot, and I really enjoy it. I think this is going to be really cool to analyze at the end of the year and see how my reading was split. Yeah, so those are all of my reading resolutions and plans. I want to enjoy what I'm doing and what I'm reading, and I'm hoping that with these resolutions, I will enjoy it a lot more. I look forward to seeing the way I read and the diversity of my reads, and maybe assessing that for what I'm going to read. I don't know how much I'll change because I'm very much I am open to reading anything, and I'm a diverse reader, but I don't want to read things simply to check a box that oh, look at me, I'm so woke or something. I have no problem reading any author from any background, or any book that covers any topic. I'm not squeamish about that at all. I think I've shown that enough through my reviews. I think it's just good to see in case you are completely missing that. Are you passing over authors that are really good, and maybe you shouldn't be. So I look forward to seeing those results at the end of the year to see how I've done. I am, of course, going to continue using Goodreads because it's really easy. I just add it onto my phone when I finish a book. And I like seeing that progress on my challenge there. Oh, you're blah, blah, blah ahead. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what this year holds. Hopefully it'll be a good year. That is it for this video. Until next time. Bye.